So what initially drew you to this project?
Well, initially, I hadn't read the book yet, so it was just the announcement of Jeff Bridges and Merl Street doing this really amazing project, directed by Philip Noyce, who's a director who I had already admired. And so I had my original audition, but then I went and I read the book as well. And then that's when I became really, really interested in the book. And also the script was really amazing. But yeah, it's this beautiful story about humanity and what it means to be human, and pain and love and all these emotions, and it was a really beautiful story and something I wanted to do.
Now your character was different from book to movie.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the changes, or how did you feel about that?
Well, yeah, so obviously the book is pretty short, and when it was adapted to a feature-length film, some things were expanded on, and one of those was the character of Asher. So Asher starts in a very similar place as in the book, where he's a little bit of a goofball, a little bit of an outsider. He kind of doesn't quite fit in perfectly with the society, and gets, he's naturally reprimanded a little bit for it. But what's interesting about in the film is, as Jonas starts standing opposed to this community, to this totalitarian society, Asher kind of becomes an implement of it. And so he acts as a foil to Jonas's character, and it develops in an opposite way of him.
And he kind of redeems himself a little
He
bit.
does. Well, spoiler alert.
Oh, I think we've all seen it, right?
Yeah.
We've all seen it.
I didn't want to know what happened at the end of it.
What? That's what happened?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, no, what's funny, though, is that wasn't the initial plan. Initially, Asher intends purely to kill Jonas, and just fails in doing so. But in our version, he intends to kind of save him, and is redeemed in some way.
Memories obviously play an important role in the film. What was one of your favorite memories from the set, either funny or just something that you really took with you?
Well, what's kind of
set?
funny is one of the main themes in the movie is how music is one of those defining characteristics of humanity and the beauty of human existence, and we had a very musical cast, and so Jeff Bridges had his guitar, and Brenton plays, I play, and we all kind of sang, or someone would play piano. Michael Mitnick, our writer, is a very good pianist, and so we would all kind of have these jam sessions together, and I think those are definitely some of my favorite memories.
What was it like working with Jeff Bridges? I mean, he's such a legendary actor.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was like such an amazing experience.
Oh yeah, it absolutely was. It was, it was interesting to work with someone who I admire so much. I mean, I've seen Big Lebowski over a dozen times. So in many ways, he was the dude for me before I met him. And not only that movie, I'm a fan of like Cutter's Way and Tidelands and all sorts of things that he did. But meeting him and then seeing he's this really humble, easygoing guy who was just very interested in collaboration and working as a peer and hearing our ideas for our characters, because this was a project that was so close to him. I mean, he'd been trying to get it made for like 18 years, and he was really excited that we were excited about the movie and that we wanted to do something great with it too. And it was great.
So were there any funny behind-the-scenes moments? Brenton seems to be a bit of a jokester, maybe a prankster, I don't know.
No.
You guys
we
are
were
very serious.
There was no fun allowed on the set.
Focus on the job.
Yeah. I mean, we had plenty of times just hanging out, cracking jokes between the scenes. It's so funny because so much of it is so intense on camera, and then obviously as soon as someone says cut, you go, okay, pull my finger. It's just it's a lot of fun. It was really relaxed, fun set.
Did you get to enjoy South Africa? Did you do any extracurricular things there? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to explore as much as possible and see some of the neighboring townships, and also just see some of the really spectacularly varied landscapes around there. I mean, there's mountains, there's beach, there's desert, sand dunes, there's pretty much everything you can imagine all within surrounding this one town in Cape Town. So I went out and I went like ATV, four-wheeling. What else did I do? I went sandboarding. That was really cool. Bunch of people went shark diving.
We heard.
Yeah, just trying to adventure as much as possible. Yeah.
Did you do it though?
I did not do shark diving. No, I did not. That was actually, I think that was the day that I decided to go sandboarding. It sounds like a lot of fun though. Maybe next time I go there I should. Yeah. You're like, no way. No,
Okay.
not for me.
Not for me, no. I'm keeping all my limbs, thanks.
Well, you're in a cage.
Still, there's that small chance.
Yeah, I guess fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite books? Like, what type of books do you like?
I like, I mean, I like a lot of different stuff. I like mystery novels. I like a lot of young adult fiction still. I think my favorite might be the sci-fi young adult novel, Feed by M.T. Anderson. I don't know if you guys know it, but it has some very interesting social commentary kind of in the style and satire of like 1984 or something like that. And these kind of dystopian or sometimes utopian, as in the case of The Giver, stories are very interesting and very fun. I guess I like sci-fi. That's an easier answer.
Yeah.
Do you have like a specific book that you would love to, like if it was adapted for the big screen, that you would want to, like you'd have to be in?
Well, I think actually Feed is probably one of them, even though I'm so curious to see how a novel like that.
Early enough?
I feel like that was like the ultimate LA struggle right there.
I don't know what we're talking about.
The movie you want to be in, other than Feed?
Yeah.
Oh, just a movie in general. I want.
No. What you
The
mentioned.
book adaptation.
A book adaptation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a lot of stuff by Shakespeare that I would want to do. I love Hamlet. It's like one of my all-time favorite stories, and so or even like Romeo and Juliet, to play like Mercutio or something would be absolutely
It's a
amazing.
great choice.
Yeah.
Mr. Romeo. Good job.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's what's so great about those stories. There's such interesting characters besides just the title character, the protagonist. Yeah.
So going along with that, your character plays kind of both good and bad. He's the enemy at one point. He's like the friend at one point. Which do you think is more fun to play?
Well, it's interesting because this character is so morally gray in the story because he does stuff that we perceive as villainous, but he's doing them with good intentions. He thinks that he's protecting his community and he's upholding something that's good, that's meant to keep people safe. And he thinks that Jonas is not only being a bad friend and kind of turning against him, but he's being a bad person trying to take down his community. So I guess it's fun to play a villain or a bad guy who's so sympathetic and not really villainous, and to have that moral conflict. I guess I just like conflicted characters.
Okay.
You know?
I think the best villains have good qualities.
Yeah.
So good intentions.
I think so.
So you've been acting for a while. I noticed you were in Malcolm in the Middle. Were you in a couple of those episodes?
I
know,
was.
I
Yeah,
know.
I did a bunch of those.
I love that show.
It was a lot of fun. fun. I love that show too.
Yeah. What made you want to get into acting and?
I mean, I grew up watching movies and television from a very, very young age. Kind of like how I learned to read, more or less, was by looking at the captions on TV. It's just something that I've always loved and been fascinated by. And, I think as kids, we all kind of play make-believe.
So the book focuses so much on memory. If you could only keep like one memory, what would you?
Oh, no.
I know it's a really
Only
deep question.
See, here's the problem with that, though, and what this movie kind of explores is we cannot have an appreciation of that one great memory without
True.
all the hardship and pain of all those other memories. You know.
But
I was trying
Poke holes
to
in my
weasel
question.
I was trying to weasel my way out of the question. I think I don't know. I think some of my memories of like Christmas morning, and seeing the presents under the tree when you're a kid and get that one thing that you really want. You know, I think that's. You always kind of keep that as a touchstone for good memories for the rest of your life.
So in the story, the characters don't get to choose what their destiny is in terms of like their career.
Yeah,
just
they're assigned.
it.
Yeah.
So if you could choose, what would you choose, and then what do you think you would be assigned to?
What would I choose as my career?
Yeah.
I mean, an actor. So it's a good thing I have this job. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't acting. I mean, I guess I like to write, or I think directing and all that is interesting. But you know, acting is definitely my passion. It's definitely my thing. What was the second part of that question?
Like in terms of if you were in the community.
Oh, okay.
Like what do you think they would assign to you?
Oh, oof.
Because you don't get to choose.
I don't
so
know.
what do you think they would choose for you?
They might just release me. Yeah, they might just get rid of me. I don't know. Yeah, definitely not anything to do with the Justice Department or the laws or anything like that. Yeah, he'd probably just make me the garbage guy.
Oh. So everyone, you were saying that everyone was kind of musical, right?
Mhm.
Everyone. So what's currently on your playlist? What are you obsessed with right now in terms of music?
What have I been listening to? I really liked the new Beck album. The new Arcade Fire album was really good. I mean, it's not that new anymore, but I still listen to it like crazy. So, I don't know. I always love Bob Dylan and Otis Redding. I've been listening to him like that recently. Yeah, I like the oldies and the new ones.
Favorite scene to shoot?
Favorite scene. Well, I mean, I have a couple scenes where I get to work with Merl Street that were, I mean, they were pretty dang cool to be able to do, you know. It was definitely interesting. Well, without giving too much away, I was watching a movie and it was really funny because in some ways, I'm a nerd, but in some ways, Meryl Streep was like Emperor Palpatine and I was Darth Vader. And I thought that was kind of awesome that I'm like this villainous protege to this figure, and that monarch, that figure was Meryl Streep. It was kind of awesome. But anyways, just shooting those scenes were really cool and amazing.
Yeah, you had more time with Meryl Streep than I think a lot of everyone
I
else
did.
did.
I had, yeah. It was really cool to have scenes just one-on-one with her, and that was something that wasn't even in the original script, and kind of happened after I got the role. I just kind of lucked out with that. And unfortunately, I don't have any scenes like that with Jeff, but to be able to have that with at least Meryl, you know, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you like learn anything from like just watching her or observing her and stuff?
Well, I mean, what I learned from both of these actors is not only their sense of focus with these characters and intensity when they're in these scenes, but also how even though they have all of this experience, even though they had Academy Awards and all these great movies and everything under their belt, they still approach each and every role with this sense of wonder, with that feeling of kids playing make-believe, they approach it like brand new actors, ready to go to work each and every day. And that's something that I admire and noticed and want to always have for myself. Right.
That makes sense, like what you were saying, like, yeah, they would have to get into character.
Yeah. Yeah, and they do, and they don't just sit on their laurels and attach it on the character. They approach it as something brand new each and every time, and with that same sense of really wanting to make something great. That's fantastic. That's the actor's way.
You gave us the secret.